I am Anubis, and this is the tale of 4 tomb robbers whose greed slew them. By chance, a group of tomb robbers discovered a still-sealed tomb, and in secret, and quietly, began to excavate the tomb. It took them days to reach the tomb, but when they did they found baskets and boxes of treasures. And much gold as well. The tomb robbers even opened the tomb and tore the mummy inside apart looking for any treasures buried within the mummy's wrappings, and with laughs and insults tossed the broken pieces of the body back into the sarcophagus and closed the lid again. Then, they began to move the treasure towards the entrance, which could not be seen from the outside, and joking with each other as they moved treasures of immense value towards the entrance. But unknown to one of them, the other 3 were quietly talking together, and on the last trip to gather up the last of the treasure in the chamber 3 of them suddenly pulled out the knives and repeatedly stabbed the 4th robber. The 4th robber fell to the floor bleeding from multiple wounds, and the other 3 laughed as they slid the lid open and threw the mangled body of their companion into it, then slid it closed again. But as the 3 robbers were taking out the last of the treasure through the passage, 2 of them lagged behind for a moment. An instant later the 2 of them pulled out the knives and stabbed the robber ahead of them multiple times in his back before he could react to their attack. The robber fell to the floor gasping and coughing up blood, then the remaining 2 robbers laughed, picked up the treasure the dying robber had dropped and continued onwards. The dying robber stared at them walking away, then he gasped out a low laugh and died alone on the floor. The last 2 tomb robbers reached the entrance and dropped the final treasures into the huge pile by the entrance. Then they picked up food and drink from another basket and began to feast. As they ate and drank they traded insults about the other 2 robbers who were foolish enough to believe that they would actually be claiming a share of their treasure. But, as they ate and drank, gradually they emptied the wineskin of wine, and when it was empty they tossed it aside and pulled out another wineskin, opened it, and began to drink from it. And neither one of them noticed a secret mark on the wineskin itself. A moment later both of them began choking and retching, their faces turning red, then purple. Gagging, they both collapsed onto the floor coughing up blood. Then they also died. Later, wind-blown sand and time itself covered up the entrance, leaving no trace of what the 4 tomb robbers had done, visible to anybody passing by. As was my task, I conveyed the souls of the 4 robbers to the underworld, where they faced Osiris, Thoth, myself of course, and the 42 judges. Their hearts were weighed against the white feather of truth, and they failed this test. And were condemned to the great death by being thrown to Ammit, the devourer of the dead. It has been centuries since this happened, and we no longer meet to judge souls. That has been taken over by other gods of other faiths, and I cannot say if their treatment of souls is right or wrong. But I still endure, not as a god of death but as a scholar and storyteller, and I thank you for listening to me today. So farewell for now, until you return to hear the next tale. I will be here, awaiting more visitors. And I know of many stories of those who cross from life to the underworld. And if you wish to hear them, I will be glad to tell them. Thank you for listening to me. And farewell.